Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another Simpsons Tapped Out event idea video. Now this has got to be the weirdest one I've ever done, I'm not going to lie. I have delved into many a theme before, but I've never done something like this, so it's a bit different now. Warning for all those younger viewers, okay? This one's going to be slightly adult themed, but it's not like Tapped Out hasn't ever done this before. We've got multiple strip clubs and strippers and adult dancers in the game before, and The Simpsons touches on it a lot because all of this content is from The Simpsons. I've tried my best to be as very sort of PG with the quest line, but it's tricky to write it subtly, so I tried my best to write it as PG as possible, but this is essentially a stripper update, okay? I'm calling it the Sleazy Simpsons update, or the adult dancers update, if you want to call it that, but it's a stripper update, okay? I've only put adult dancers in the title just so I don't get messed up by the algorithm. Okay, but let's move on to it. Let's get into it. This is what you voted for as well, so can't blame me. So Nelson's mother tells Nelson that she has to work tonight and can't help him with his homework tonight. Nelson is upset and tells his mom that she never cares for him and she only cares about money. Nelson's mother tells Nelson that she does this to earn money for him and tells him to be grateful. So you make Nelson be mad at his mom, make men go to strip clubs ×3. So this will just be at any strip club you have. If you have the Classy Girls strip club that Nelson's mom came with, then you'll send them there. If not, you can send them to, if you have the one that Princess Kashmir comes with, you can send them there, and failing that, they'll just go to Moe's, and this will unlock the event. So the event currency will be, the first act is $1 notes. I know that money is technically already a currency in the game, so maybe this wouldn't be it, but the stereotypical make it rain, so I figured $1 notes would be a good Act 1 currency. Act 2 is adult movies. Act 3 is nun outfits and the connotations behind that. And then Act 4 is protest signs, but not exactly the protest signs that you are going to imagine. So let's go into this event, starting with some established characters. So for Act 1, I kind of made this right. I know that Nelson's mother or Mrs. Muntz isn't a premium character, but I was thinking there should be like an established character in each one to earn extra currency. So Princess Kashmir will be Act 1, Barney will be Act 2, Act 3 will be Bella, or Belle, or is it Bella? Is it Belle? I think it's Belle. Is it name Belle or Bella? I don't even know. Belle. And then Act 4 will be, or Bella. Yeah, I think it's Bella. Act 4 will be Mrs. Muntz. And again, like I said, I know Mrs. Muntz isn't premium, but whatever. It's just, you can't have this event with without Mrs. Muntz, let's be honest. So let's go into it. Starting off with a Gil's deal. So Gil is going to come along and he is going to give us a brand new deal. And this one's like slightly connected, but slightly not. Often Gil's deals are sort of like, sometimes they can be connected, really intrinsically with the event. But then oftentimes they're sort of loosely connected. This one's kind of connected because it comes with a strip club, or at least a nudie cinema. But the character has no relation really. But it's going to come with topless nudes with Armin Tamzarian. Armin Tamzarian. I can't actually say it. Armin Tamzarian for 200 donuts. I know there's a lot of stuff that can come with this character, and they could probably make like an entire mini event based on Armin Skinner. They could make a Skinner's secret identity, but I think just for this, just give us topless nudes, give us him. I think this should be a separate character and not a costume for Skinner. A, because established, obviously, younger characters tend to be added as separate characters. That's the established norm now. And B, I think there's a good argument that he is a separate character entirely, considering this episode was made non-canon by the show writers. So technically, I think even if the sort of established norm for younger characters wasn't true, I think there's a good argument to be made that this should be made a separate character anyway. But yeah, so let's jump into Act 1's store. Boom. So Act 1 store, we've got the Rusty Barnacle with Mr. Frink for Mr. Fisk for 150 donuts. So Mr. Fisk is obviously in the oh god, my computer lagging. Is obviously in the Homer's Night Out storyline. And the Rusty Barnacle, they are inside the Rusty Barnacle. Now, the Rusty Barnacle doesn't actually make an exterior appearance. We only really see the interior. However, in the Simpsons Hit and Run, you can find it in the game. I think in level 2. So you can find, or maybe level 3, but you can find the Rusty Barnacle in the game. So this is it in the Simpsons Hit and Run. But it is an established location within the show. It just made an appearance in the game. So this is what it looks like. They could take this loosely, and plus they've made Tapped Out exclusive games before, so it wouldn't even be a big deal. They could just take the design from the game and add it in. It'd be kind of cool as well, because technically we would have got a hit and run game. I'm not sure about the legality of that though. Maybe they can't do it. I'm not sure, but I think they'd be able to get away with it. Maybe they'd have to make the design a little bit different just so the creators, because technically the creators of Hit and Run are different to EA. It's not EA, I don't think. I think EA may have published it or distributed it, but no, I think they distributed it. I don't think they published it though. I don't know what about rights, but I don't know. Either way, give us the Rusty Barnacle, give us Mr. Fisk. So in the questline with Homer asks Moe why there is a pole in the middle of the bar now, and Moe tells Homer that it's to improve business. He's hired Nelson's mom to do a few strip shows at the bar. Marge tells Moe that that's horrible, but Nelson's mom tells her that she has to make money one way or another and not to judge her. So you make Marge argue with Nelson's mother, or Mrs. Muntz, make Moe serve new customers, make Springfielders earn $1 bills, and this will unlock a stripper pole. So this will be, I know, a bit of a crappy decoration, but I wanted to throw at least one non-building. A lot of the prize trackers you're going to notice is majority buildings, and I wanted to add at least one decoration or one something that isn't a building in the prize track, so I threw in a stripper pole, okay? Sue me. So yeah, it'll just be a stripper pole. Marge tells Homer he's no longer allowed at Moe's because of the stripper pole, and Homer is forced to try and find a new bar to go to. So you make Marge keep an eye on Homer, make Moe watch Nelson's mom rake in the dollars, and make Homer try to find a new bar. And then you also make Springfielders earn $1 bills, and when you unlock enough, you get girlesque. So girls, or girls-esque. This is just another sort of, I guess, sleazy club, if you want to call it that. It's another adult dancer club. I think there's a wet t-shirt contest or something. Interesting. Homer goes to Girlesque and finds Princess Kashmir there and finds out that it's another stripper bar. Homer talks to her and asks her and some of the other girls about what they do, and he learns what they're doing is a form of art, at least in their opinion. So you make Homer appreciate the show, make Marge look for Homer, and make Springfielders earn $1 bills, and this will unlock Mud City, another strip club in the game. Marge gets angry at Homer, saying that he's been spending time in more seedy clubs, and she tells Homer that he's not allowed out anymore, full stop. He can drink at home instead. Lenny and Carl, whilst Homer's at home, tell Homer that they're having a work night out, and Homer says that he's banned, but they make fun of him for being basically whipped and controlled by Marge. So you make Homer sneak out, make Marge discover Homer snuck out, make Lenny and Carl go on a work night out, on a work night out because of Eugene getting remarried, go on a work night out because of Eugene getting married. Oh, I probably should have included that in the quest line. Anyway, they're going on a night out because Eugene is getting remarried. And then you also make Springfielders earn $1 bills, and this will unlock Club Mud, which is separate to Mud City, but I thought because they're so similarly made and they're quite similar in appearance, I just sort of threw them next to each other, but they are separate, I guess. Yeah. And then finally, Lenny, Carl, Eugene and Homer watch Princess Kashmir dance, and they all are very respectful, and they compliment her. You know, I want it to be like a twist, like, you think they're going to be like, sort of larky men being like, look at her, look at her body. But no, they're actually like, almost like gentle, like, unearthly gentleman-like, I don't know. And then, but Eugene though he's horrified, and he's like, make it stop. And Marge then bursts in, accusing the men of gawking at these desperate women looking for money. But Princess Kashmir sort of tells Marge, gives her a piece of her mind. So, actually the men were very respectful and that, she's not desperate for money. She enjoys doing this. Don't judge the sex work, Marge. So you make Marge understand adult dancing, make Homer be respectful, make Lenny and Carl traumatize Eugene, and make Springfielders earn $1 bills, and this unlocks Eugene Fisk. So the main reason why I've got Mr. Fisk and Eugene Fisk is they were season 1 characters. Eugene works at the plant, and obviously they were at the Homer's Night Out, that whole episode, and they both were very annoyed that they had got a stripper, or a dancer anyway, a girl dancer. So I thought including them in both the store and the first act makes sense. Anyway, moving on. Act 2, boom. We've got Katja with Girls, Girls, Girls for $150. So she wasn't seen at this building, but she's basically like a webcam girl, like her and her friend Vicky are like webcam girls. They did that little sexy pillow fight. So at Ned's house, I probably would want these two as a 2-in-1, I'm not going to lie, but for the sake of having a consistent store and act, I threw them in as separate characters. But she would come with Girls, Girls, Girls. Again, a thing she hasn't come at. I'm making an assumption that she would go to a strip club, but she does do webcam shows, so maybe it's possible. I don't know. No judging, though. So Marge asks Selma if she would like to go to a strip club with her. But Selma tells Marge Patty would be likely interested in that. But Marge explains that actually it's a strip club with males in it. So you make Marge watch a male strip show, make Selma watch a male strip show, and make Springfielders earn adult movies, and this will unlock the Silicon Alley Strip Club. So this one, and Barney's going to be involved. I haven't really included him in the questline, but basically Barney is a stripper now. He's now started a job as a stripper. There's not going to be a costume or anything for Barney, because I don't know if this would be that interesting of a costume, and what you could really do with it. But Barney's going to be involved in this questline. I just couldn't be bothered tying him in properly, so just imagine he's there. So you make Marge is met with Ned, who is shocked that she is going to these new obscene locations in Springfield, and Marge tells Ned it's an art form, but he tells Marge it's ungodly, and Marge tells her that actually God was one of the dancers and he was very impressive on the pole. Edgy joke, sorry. So you make Ned protest strip clubs, make Marge convince Ned to give one a try, and make Springfielders earn adult movies, and this will unlock Juicy Wangs as another male strip club. Very awesome. Very on the point with the name. Ned agrees to allow the businesses to exist, but he's worried about the DVDs that are circling around Springfield. Marge watches one of them and tells Ned it's very tame, it's just a sexy pillow fight, but Ned is worried that Rod and Todd will see it and have their minds corrupted. So you make Ned track down the maker of the DVDs, make Marge try to reassure Ned, and make Springfielders earn adult movies to unlock the camera on a tripod. So pretty simple, just a camera on a tripod, nothing amazing. Like I said, I needed to throw a decoration in somewhere. We couldn't just have all buildings. And Barney is advertising the new sexy pillow fight 2 DVD, and Ned confronts him asking who he's working for, but Barney is very drunk and doesn't remember. But he does say that he met the woman who offered him free beer in exchange for selling the beers. In exchange for selling the DVDs at one of those new clubs. So you make Ned storm into strip clubs ×3, make Ned faint at the sight of strip clubs, and make Marge wake up Ned. And then you make Springfielders earn adult movies, and this will unlock Nude Elegance as another building. I know a lot of these were in one sort of strip club, and they could just add it as a big 10-in-1 or 6-in-1 building, but for the sake of having stuff to fill out the price tracks, I had to add them as separate buildings. Ned bursts into Nude Elegance to find Vicky and Katja are the ones selling the adult movies, and Ned tells them that his children could see their videos and have their minds corrupted, but they tell Ned that they actually deliver a helpful religious message in their films right at the end, and he should give them a watch. So you make Ned watch Christian adult movies, make Marge watch Christian adult movies, and make Springfielders earn adult movies, and this will unlock Vicky as a full playable character. So that's Act 2. Boom! Act 3 comes along. We've got the Sapphire Lounge with Gulliver Dog. Now, the Sapphire Lounge is actually technically a part of the Ye Olde Off-Ramp Hotel, whatever it's called, the hotel that's on that big ramp. This it's like a little bar that's connected to it, so I don't know, technically I guess it is a part of that, but it's not included in the Ye Olde Ramp Inn. that we currently have in the game. So I figured just add the Sapphire Lounge as a separate building, and we can get Gulliver Dark with it. So Ned brings the... also, by the way, he was the guy who basically sang as Princess Kashmir was dancing, so that's why he's added. Ned brings the films to Lovejoy, telling him that they should use the films to help grow Christianity in the town. They can blur out the women and just focus on the nice religious ending at the message at the end of the film. Lovejoy jumps at the chance as Belle is getting more traffic than the church. So you make Lovejoy edit the films, make Ned distribute the films to strip clubs, make Springfielders earn nun outfits, and this will unlock the Champagne Explosion, which is right here. Very awesome. Lovejoy tells Ned that they need allies to help them fight against Belle and her girls. Their films are not reaching enough people, and people are just go into the clubs to enjoy dancing. Smithers then tells the men that he will help out because the strippers even scare him, and they are stealing Mr. Burns away from him. So you make Smithers avoid strippers, make Ned distribute edited adult films, make Lovejoy promote Christian outfits, and make Springfielders earn nun outfits, and this will unlock the animated job for Smithers, which is hide away from strippers. So this is like such a famous little funny moment, and so I think it'd be great as a little animation. So basically, you get Smithers to hide away from strippers, and it's pretty much just this, maybe for an hour or 2 hours. It's just a free animation. I know I talk about animations sometimes, but it's one prize, and I wanted to throw something in there, and I couldn't resist. We had to have this as an animation. I think it's well deserved, okay? Belle tells Lovejoy, Ned, and Smithers that their efforts are meaningless, and besides, she puts the spring in Springfield. She tells them that they are trying to distract people with religion, and it destroys everything she and the other club owners are trying to achieve. So you make Ned spread more adult films, make Lovejoy resort to arson, yeah, it's going that far, and make Smithers hide away from strippers, and you make Springfielders earn nun outfits, and this will unlock gyrations. I think that's how you say it, gyrations. Gyrations. Yeah, you unlock gyrations as a building. Wiggum stops Lovejoy from burning down the strip clubs and tells him he's going away for a long time for trying to deprive all the women and men of their jobs, and also taking away everyone's right to watch adult dancers. So you make Lovejoy serve time, make Ned imagine what will happen to the church, and make Wiggum enjoy strip clubs, and make Springfielders earn nun outfits, and this will unlock the Atheist Strip Club. It was a little joke of like what the church may turn into, so I thought it'd be a nice way to tie it in here. It'll be its own separate building though, don't worry. And then Belle tells Lovejoy that despite everything he's done, she has decided to drop the charges against him, mainly because his dad refused to go to their club anymore if she prosecuted him, and he is her best customer. So you make Lovejoy thank Belle, make Ned abandon his efforts, make Smithers beg Mr. Burns to avoid the clubs, and make Springfielders earn nun outfits, and this will unlock Timothy Lovejoy Sr., or you could just call him Lovejoy's father. So yeah, perfect character to get. Obviously he's in the episode with Belle. He appeared to be a customer of that club. You know, he loves the establishment. We see him to entertain your dad, I think it's the line. Yeah, so I think having him as a character would be cool. I know he's only appeared once, so he's only made one tiny brief appearance when he just waves out the window, but hell, he's clearly, he likes his adult dancers, so I figured he'd be a great character to add. And then Act 4 comes along, boom. Now we got Club Sin with Stripper Bart, and this will be a skin for Mooch Bart. Now because it's Bart, like, imagining what his life will, like, turn into, like, he has, like, a little dream sequence where he imagines himself as, like, a stripper when he's older. I figured this probably, I don't think it qualifies as a skin for Bart, and I don't think it qualifies as its own separate character. So I think a skin for Mooch Bart is fine. So it will be 150 donuts for both Club Sin and the Stripper Bart. Or if you don't have Mooch Bart, you can get a combo, which will be Mooch Bart and the Club Sin and Stripper Bart for 200 donuts. I think that's fair. And Club Sin is going to be like a really cool big building. So I think the added price, even though it's a costume, I think it's well deserved. So yeah, that's my idea. I think they can do that. They've added a skin for Prom Homer before, so I think as long as you give the ability for that, like, you know, combo, I think you can do it. So yeah. Mrs. Muntz complains to Mo that her pay has gone down, and Mo tells her that ever since Belle has taken over all the new clubs, he's not been getting as much business, so he can't afford to pay her as much, but does say he can pay her in other ways. And I don't mean that as like Mo's trying to, like, as in like he can pay her with his love. Yeah, it's not like a Me Too moment. It's like a, well, I guess maybe it is. I don't know if I want to take Mo down that path. Anyway, let's go with it. So you make Mrs. Muntz slap Mo, make Mo apologize for what he's done. I want to like redeem Mo straight away. Okay, like, we won't make Mo too bad. And make Springfielders earn protest signs, and this will unlock not hookers. I thought that was a nice way of tying in this building. Oh God. Not hookers. Everything froze then. Sorry. Quimby tells Belle, Kashmir, and Mrs. Muntz that he's going to be raising the taxes on all strip clubs to hopefully try to gain some more money in the town budget. All the women are pissed off at Quimby and begin protesting the tax hike. Make Mrs. Muntz protest the tax hike, make Quimby find a getaway vehicle to avoid the angry mob, and make Springfielders earn protest signs, and this will unlock the stripper copter, which of course is a thing for Club Sin, but I think it was, yeah, Club Sin, or the Club Sin copter. You can call it whatever you want. I think Uta called it the stripper copter, that's why I called it that. Mrs. Muntz asks for a job at Belle's place, but she tells her that because of the tax hike, she cannot afford to employ anyone else. In fact, she's already had to let people go. So you make Nelson's mom look for a new establishment, make Quimby allocate stripper tax money, and make Springfielders earn protest signs, and this will unlock polecats as another building. Mrs. Muntz tells Nelson that sadly she can't afford a proper dinner tonight due to the lack of work. Nelson is very upset and sad, and Marge sees this. So you make Marge campaign to lower the taxes, make Quimby stress under the added pressure, and make Mrs. Muntz disappoint Nelson, and make Nelson be mad at the world, and make Springfielders earn protest signs, and this will unlock Sappies, Sadies. Did I put Sappies? I don't know why I put Sappies. Saddies, not Sads, Sadies. Saddies. Saddies, I don't know, whatever it is. And Quimby begins to cower to the pressure, and he lifts the tax on the strip clubs. Mrs. Muntz thanks Marge and tells her that she isn't too bad, and Belle gives Mrs. Muntz a job, but not as a stripper, as a manager of all the new clubs. She never has to strip again, but Mrs. Muntz says, screw it, I'm going to do it one last time. So you make Mrs. Muntz perform for fun, make adults watch Mrs. Muntz, and make Springfielders earn protest signs, and this will unlock stripper Mrs. Muntz as a costume. Now, I tried my best to redeem Mrs. Muntz. I take a massive issue in general with Mrs. Muntz's character, and Mrs. Muntz, the way she was added in the game. I tried my best to at least be fair to the show, and also try and redeem her a little bit, but the issue with Mrs. Muntz, right, is she's kind of like depicted like she's like, I hate to say this, right, but like a dirty slut. That's basically what she's like depicted as. And I think it's really bad, you know, it's kind of, she's in a dire predicament. She's rather poor, and this is what she does to earn money. And hell, she might not enjoy it, but I think depicting her as like someone who's miserable and doesn't enjoy what she does, but also sleeps around with other men, which is what she's depicted as, I just think it's a really awful portrayal for her character. And I really wish that they did something different, because really, I think they should have really just done like what they did with Princess Kashmir. She's happy with what she does, you know, like, you know, this is how she earns money. Like, she strips, yeah, sure, and she sleeps around, sure, but that makes her happy, and you know, she's doing it for the money. Like, she's in a dire predicament, so you can't fucking judge her. Like, stop being an asshole, stop judging her. But they can still have the whole thing like Nelson is ashamed of his mother. They can add that in, that's fine, and you can get a few laughs out of that. But I just take issue of what they do with Mrs. Muntz's character. Now, I've tried my best to stay as like true to the show, but also redeem her a little bit at the end. I kind of would like it if they sort of be like, yeah, she actually enjoys doing this, and if you judge her for that, screw you, sort of thing, you know? Sex work is real work, alright? I'm an advocate for it. So Mrs. Muntz tells Nelson that because of all the money she's getting, I know she's not a prostitute, but you know what I mean, like stripping, sex work, you get what I mean. Mrs. Muntz tells Nelson that because of all the money that she's getting from running all the clubs and all the stripping she's doing on the side, she can now afford a lot of cool shit for him. So you make Mrs. Muntz run the strip clubs and make Nelson show off his gadgets at school. There's a nice little epilogue for the end. So let's get on to some tasks. So for Armin, we've got flee with stolen handbags for 60 minutes as an animation. Be a terrible role model for kids for 4 hours. So with the handbag one, it will just be this, on a bike with the handbag floating around. Be a terrible role model for kids. That will be at the school. Answer questions about stolen handbags for 8 hours. That will be at the police station. Advertise for topless nudes for 12 hours. So this will be outside, topless nudes with this little nude sign. And now I know the modern day Skinner did this, but I think it's fine when you repurpose an animation for a character. So I'd be happy enough if they repurpose this animation for Armin, just to tie in the strip club, or the nude club, or the nude cinema, whatever you want to call it. And then Sleep Rough for 24 hours. This will just be at probably Springfield Park. For Mr. Fisk, we have Tell His Son He's Proud of Him. So this will be an animation of his son sitting down, and like him and his son sort of embracing in a hug. I couldn't think of anything, I'm not going to lie. Eat at the Barnacle for 4 hours. Work at the Rusty Barnacle for 8 hours. Try eat a squid for 12 hours. So this will be like the squid that Bart gets in the episode, but instead we repurpose it for Mr. Fisk. So a waiter will, like a little NPC waiter, will like put the squid down on his table, and he'll see the squid and he'll be horrified at it, and he'll try and eat it, but then he'll gag at like even the thought of it and put it down, and then the waiter takes it away, and then repeat basically. And then try budget to pay off Eugene's wedding expenses for 24 hours. My idea for his like little quest line would be that basically he is broke as shit from paying for all, like Eugene keeps remarrying basically, and he's broke as shit because of it, because he's been helping to pay all of his son's weddings, and as a result he has to work at the Barnacle as well. For Eugene, we have try on wedding suit for 60 minutes. It'll be him. Basically, maybe like a little curtain spawns. He goes behind the curtain, tries on a few different funny suits. Regret getting married for 4 hours. This will just be probably at the Rusty Barnacle if you have it. If you don't have it there, it could just be at any other club, or possibly at the plant. Work at the plant for 8 hours. This will just be him at the plant. Cover his eyes for 12 hours. So it'll be him basically like, or I guess maybe like cover his eyes from strippers or cover his eyes from dancers. Basically, it'll be like a woman will come out who's like, you know, dressed in like scantily dressed, if you will, and Eugene like covers his eyes like, oh, the horror, and then try hide from strippers for 24 hours. This will just be him like going from strip club to strip club, so like semi-animated, just him running from strip club to strip club. For Catcher, we've got Be More Devout for 60 minutes. So this will be her in a nun outfit praying essentially. Work at Girls for 4 hours. That will be at Girls. Cash in money from online viewers for 8 hours. This will be possibly at the bank. If you don't have the bank, just at the Brown House. So my idea for this, right, was that basically Katja and Vicky are now like on OnlyFans, but you don't call it OnlyFans, because I feel like that's the natural progression as to where you take it, because they're like webcam girls, right? And then Sexy Pillow Fight. So this is only if you have Vicky as well. I presume obviously if you get the premium character, you'll probably unlock the non-premium character. I guess in a dire circumstance where you don't have Katja, I guess this animation works without her, but where you don't have Vicky. But basically it'll be a sexy pillow fight between the two women. And then repent for her sins for 24 hours. That'll be at the church. And then for Vicky, we have pray to God for more subscribers. Again, this is all to do with the OnlyFans idea. Sign up for online sites for 4 hours. Do a live show for 8 hours. These will probably all be at the Brown House. Look for a new landlord for 12 hours. So this will be her with a 2 massive suitcase full and 2 big suitcases, and she'll just be walking from house to house looking for a new place to stay. And nearly become Ned's third wife for 24 hours. I thought that could be an interesting thing. Like Ned invites her back in, and then like he like begins to like try and redeem her and be like, oh, you could be a good Christian girl, and then he's like, maybe a third wife. I don't know. It could be a funny little quest line. For Gulliver Dog, is it? Whatever his name was. Do a performance for 60 minutes, just be him singing pretty much outside of a club, possibly outside of the Sapphire Lounge. Try getting Princess Kashmir's good books for 4 hours. Perform all night for 8 hours. There'll be again Sapphire Lounge. Princess Kashmir will be with Princess Kashmir. Try get himself out of Kashmir's cage. So my idea for his like quest line would be that he it basically pisses off Kashmir, and then he's like constantly trying to get in her good books. Like maybe he like flirts with her, or he says something unkind, and eventually he gets locked in her cage. So the little cage that she gets lowered in on the episode, he's just going to be inside of a cage, like trying to break open and get out. And then finally get lectured by all the girls for 24 hours. That will be at the Sapphire Lounge. For Timothy Lovejoy Sr., we've got Try Sleep Off Last Night for 60 minutes. So this will be him in his like underwear or something, or like him like, yeah, in his underwear, like covered in like lipstick kiss marks, and he'll just be on a bench and he'll be waking up like, what the hell's going on? Or maybe like some birds come down and start pecking at him, and he like shoos the birds away, and he wakes up and he's like he does like a thinking face trying to remember what the hell happened to him last night. Go to a church service for 4 hours. I'll be at the church. Visit Bells for 8 hours. That'll be at the, I forget what it's called now, but the Bells place. Smuggle dirty movies for 12 hours. This will be him with a bunch of like essentially just DVD boxes, and he's like looking from his left to right, like hoping no one sees him, and like maybe like an NPC walks past or something, or not even that. Maybe he just looks to his right and he's like, oh, and he like just drops all the movies, and then he tries to he scours them all up and gets them in his hand, and then he begins basically repeating it. And then try and prove his son's sex life for 24 hours. Why the hell not? I mean, they made such a big deal out of that in the show, so why not throw that in? And then for Stripper Bot, we have performed for the crowd for 60 minutes. So it'll be him firing the guns and like doing like a little, doing like a sort of walking up and down like he's on a catwalk. Maybe a catwalk actually spawns. Try turn his life around for 4 hours. This could be a club sin. Work a club sin for 8 hours. Again, club sin. Pull a muscle for 12 hours. So it'll be him basically doing these moves here, and then like he like sort of holds his back in pain, like pulled a muscle. And then pick up loose change for 24 hours. It'll be him essentially picking up loose change. And finally for stripper Nelson's mum, or adult dancer Nelson's mum, whatever you want to call her. I think the money in her in the strap should be included. But we got perform with little passion for 60 minutes. So this will be at the stripper pole that you get right at the start. She'll just be like walking around it with like very little passion, and maybe some like money gets thrown to her. Buy Nelson gifts for 4 hours. This will be I guess maybe like the Fortune Megastore or something like it, or the Springfield Mall, like some sort of like shopping center. Tell men she's not that type of stripper for 8 hours. This one could be kind of sad, but it could be in like an empowerment moment as well. And then count cash for 12 hours. So it'll be her with a dosh full of cash, just counting it like, aha, look at all this money. And then go from club to club performing for 24 hours. This will just be her literally walking from club to club. Oh, so that is my adult dancing. Sorry I got a little political there in the middle. I had to clarify that. I don't want people getting the wrong like interpretation of this update. Like I want it to be like a good thing, I want it to be a positive message in this one. It's a weird one to do. Would I recommend they do this? No. I just thought it'd be interesting because there are a lot of strip clubs that we've got in the game, and I've actually missed quite a few. There was actually quite a few that I just straight up had to like not include. Like there was so goddamn many. But I think it's an interesting little event. If this popped up, I would probably be a bit like, oh, that's a weird sort of adult subject for you to pick tapped out. But I probably would be fairly happy with it. I don't know. But anyway, tell me your thoughts, and also head over to the Discord where you can vote for what event idea you want to see next, which is of course going to be a mini event. So stay tuned and vote, please. And I shall see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.